Ah, the 1950s, a time when gas was cheap, Elvis was king, and every Sunday drive felt like a little slice of the American dream. Back then, cars weren't just transportation, they were rolling works of art, long, low, and wide, with more chrome than a jukebox and names that sounded like space rockets. It was a decade of hope, style, and wild imagination. Today, we reflipping through the memory book to look at 10 car features from the 1950s that felt like they were straight out of the future. 1. Rocket fins that touched the sky in the post-war boom. America had its eyes on the stars, and so did its cars. Inspired by fighter jets and space travel, automakers added tall, sweeping tailfins to everything from Cadillacs to Chevys. They weren't just for show, well, okay, they were for show, but they made your car look like it could take off right from the driveway. At night, those red bullet taillights glowing in the dark. Magic. By the 60s, though, safety concerns and changing styles clipped those wings for good. 2. Push-button transmissions. No gear shift, no problem. In the mid-1950s, cars like the Chrysler Imperial let you shift gears with the press of a button, just like an elevator. Mounted right on the dash, this was pure Jetsons-level innovation. It felt modern, clean, and high-tech, perfect for housewives and highway cowboys alike. But by the early 60s, problems with reliability and safety pushed the buttons out in favor of good old gear levers. 3. Wraparound windshields. Step into a 1955 Buick or Oldsmobile, and you'll see glass that curves around you like a cockpit. These wraparound windshields gave drivers a panoramic view of the road and passengers a front row seat to the American countryside. They were bold, dramatic, and made the car feel like a moving theater. But they also had thick corners that created blind spots, and fixing a cracked one cost a pretty penny. By the end of the decade, windshields flattened back out. 4. Built-in cigarette lighters. Even in the backseat, if you lit up in the 50s, your car was ready for it. Most models came standard with ashtrays, not just in the front, but in the backseat too. Some luxury cars even had built-in lighters for every passenger. Smoking wasn't just accepted, it was expected. These days, we wince at the thought of lighting up near a child, but back then, it was as common as rolling down the window. Health concerns and cultural shifts eventually put this feature in the rearview mirror. 5. Continental kits. Ever seen those cars with the spare tire mounted on the back, behind a shiny chrome cover? That's a Continental kit. It gave your car an extra few feet of style, and made it look like it just rolled off a Hollywood backlot. It was about elegance, luxury, and a little bit of flair. Parking one of these beauties took some extra space, but who cared when you looked that good? The trend faded in the 60s, as cars got smaller and sleeker. 6. Two-tone paint jobs. Pink and white. Mint green and cream, black and cherry red. In the 1950s, car colors were bold, and two-tone paint jobs were all the rage. The roof was one color, the body another, often separated by sweeping chrome trim. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement. As taste shifted toward more conservative styles, these vibrant combos slowly drove off into the sunset. 7. Highway hi-fi record players. That's right, some 50s cars had actual record players in the glove box. Chrysler's Highway Hi-Fi let you spin special 7-inch records while you cruised down Route 66. The idea was futuristic and fun, but the bumps in the road made your favorite tunes skip like crazy. Plus, the records were pricey and hard to find. Once 8-tracks and FM radio came along, this idea hit a dead end. 8. Curb feelers. Ever hear a zing when pulling up to a sidewalk in a 50s car? That was your curb feelers at work, little metal wires that stuck out near the tires and brushed the curb to warn you were getting close. In an era before backup cameras or parking sensors, this was high-tech. They made a cool little sound and saved your white walls from a nasty scrape. Over time, tighter styling and better parking habits made them a thing of the past. 9. Giant chrome bumpers. Cars in the 1950s didn't just have bumpers, they had chrome castles. Big, shiny, and built like tanks, they wrapped around the front and back like armor. Not only did they shine like trophies, but they also gave the car a strong, protective look. Some were called Dagmars, named after a curvy TV star of the time. Safety standards and fuel economy rules eventually slimmed them down, but they sure looked sharp while they lasted. 10. Dashboard clocks that actually ticked. In a time before smartphones and digital displays, a dashboard clock was a mark of class. These weren't digital, They were wind-up or electric, ticking gently as the miles rolled by. You could glance over and feel like you were right on schedule for your afternoon drive-in movie or Sunday picnic. It was a tiny touch of elegance that made the car feel like home. Today's cars tell time too, but somehow, they don't feel quite as cozy. Cars from the 1950s weren't just machines, they were memories on wheels. Every curve, every chrome line, told a story of a time when America dreamed big and drove even bigger. Which of these features would you bring back if you could? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this ride through the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us again next time on American Rewind.